Hi y'all, Jeff here with Jeff's Cars and Garage, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I'm actually driving, coming along, driving out. I'm actually on my way home from work, and this is one of the routes that I take, and it's kind of a nice little route. So one of the things it's been on my mind today that actually came to my attention over the last week or so, and that is service by our new car dealerships. And I've heard some disturbing news that you may or may not be true, something about labor rates and the cost it's going to do, the cost to repair your automobile should you take it in and need some service done. Now, one of the things that I do know is an oil change in the last 2 years has gone up almost triple what it used to be. It used to be you could go to say a Jiffy Lube or someplace like that, and get an oil change done for $39.95 or $49.95 or something of that nature. But now, I think the cheapest oil change you can get on just a regular domestic car, or I don't know, Chevy Impala or whatever, right around $80 to $90. That's an insane amount of money just to get your oil changed every, now 5,000 miles or 7,000 miles, depending on the manufacturer's recommendations. Now, one thing I will say is my GL350 costs more than, it's almost double that. So, because it takes 9 quarts of oil, it's a specific Mobil 1 blended for European cars, and of course it's a diesel. Now, the one thing that really has me concerned about some of these new car dealerships, and some of you may be on the East Coast, some of you may be on the West Coast. I don't know what your labor rates out there are, but here in the Midwest, it's roughly in the, at the new car dealerships like Chevrolet and Ford and Chrysler and those are the domestic ones. Roughly right around $160 an hour. And then the diagnostic fee might be closer to $200 an hour. That's an insane amount of money for, getting your car fixed should there be a problem. Now, I don't know about you, but, the last time I took something into a a repair shop, wasn't at a dealership, a new car dealership. I've been fortunate to use locally a mechanic, in my town. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around here now that I've turned corners, and so you all can see me for a little bit. But I've been fortunate to use a mechanic in the town that I live in. But here's the problem. He doesn't want to work on any of my older stuff. In fact, he made the comment to me. He says, well, if it was made before the year I was born, he said, I really don't want to work on it. I said, well, okay, how old are you? Well, I'm 32 or whatever. I don't even know how old he was. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, really? He said, I just don't have the knowledge of that. The knowledge. And so that knowledge actually comes because he was trained in the world of, oh, wait a minute, let's plug that computer in and let it tell me what to do to fix it. Now, that being said, he can rebuild an engine, he can take apart an engine, he can do all of that, but he's got to rely on a computer most of the time to diagnose what the issue actually is. Okay, I'm going to be taking a pretty mean curve here, so bear with me just a second. And then, of course, I got to have a car that wants to go a lot faster than me on these country roads. But he just does, he just doesn't feel comfortable, and yeah, he doesn't want to work on a Mercedes-Benz either. At least the older ones that I have. Now, that's okay, I suppose, but I take one of my older ones into Mercedes-Benz of, say, in Omaha. They don't want to work on them either, because they don't know how to diagnose a problem. So I have to find an independent shop that actually does that. Well, and labor rates at some of the independents, they're not as much. They're in the 130s. Most generally, all the other shops that, like on the GL that I had, when I had the timing chain tensioner replaced, his labor rates was like $120 or $122 an hour, which is still an insane amount of money. But again, that's what we're kind of forced to pay. So I get it now. While my daughter, she just traded her Ram pickup off for a Chevy pickup at a dealership, and why she wanted an extended warranty, because the kids today, or the young people today, they don't have the budget, and they, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, so they might as well excuse me, might as well calculate in their monthly payment some sort of a warranty or a service agreement, so that it covers those costs. And that's smart thinking, but man, that's driving payments up. I mean, I learned the other day that, actually yesterday, that a lot of people have vehicle payments that are about the same as their monthly rent or mortgage payment. Oh my goodness, how in the world is that possible? And rents are high. So I feel for I feel for our younger generation, because things are continuing to go up, and if you want to have something decent, you either got to have a healthy income, or you better have the knowledge to repair what you have. But again, most people are, shops today, they rely on, a stinking computer to tell them what's wrong with the car. When a check engine light comes on, it's whatever that diagnostic tool tells you is wrong, and then they go and they replace that. A lot of times it's a sensor, or it's something electronic or electrical. So I don't know, folks, this is kind of disturbing, because some of these shops are now doing what they call tiered labor rates. So, the labor rate for certain things is about $160 an hour. The labor rate for something else is, $175 an hour. And then if you want this done, or if you drive an Audi, or, a Mercedes, or, a Land Rover product, you're almost stuck with having to take it to the dealership to get it repaired, especially if it's a newer model. Most certainly you'd want to take it to the dealership if it's under its manufacturer's warranty. Now, which brings me to the next question, and some of you might be able to answer this, and maybe not. But does the labor rates at the dealership charge us, the consumer, the same as what they charge back to the manufacturer? Back in the old days, that wasn't the case. It usually meant, the labor rate to the, for warranty work back to the manufacturer was a lot less not significantly, but it was usually like 75% of the labor rate that was charged to the consumer. So, it's getting to be a tough world out there, for all of us that, have to pay for all this stuff. So, I don't know. Guess it's time to learn how to be a mechanic for everything. I mean, I guess part of the reason why I like older vehicles is because obviously I can work on it, and my influence was my dad. We worked on it, vehicles, and I kind of grew up working on vehicles. Now, of course, that was back in the day when carbureted vehicles were in place, and so I'm learning. I'm learning on the early fuel injections. It's one of them things where this is how our economy treats us, and with the economy right now the way it is, we live and learn. Anyway, folks, I'm going to turn the camera back around facing forward as I'm coming into the county that I live. Give you a little bit of a scenery as we're heading north. But hope you enjoyed this video and my little rant on what it costs to repair a car today. It's just crazy. It's just an insane amount of money that we got to lay out every year. So these third-party warranties a good thing? In a lot of cases, might not be a bad idea, especially if you don't know how to work on a car yourself. So you got to budget that in, along with the rising cost of insurance every year. So, hey, listen, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Put your comments down below. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Keep working on my channel, trying to get my channel to grow. So, appreciate you watching again. Have a great day.